Well, hey there. Hello there. I'm Marcelo Lewin, the Headless Creator. Welcome to the Content Modeling Show. This is episode number 9, and we're going to be modeling SEO metadata. And when I talk about SEO metadata, I'm talking about not just the browser, Google search engine metadata, but also maybe Twitter, Facebook, and any other kind of metadata you may require for a website or a mobile app. Before we get started, I do want to remind you to follow me here on Twitch if you haven't yet, so that way you get notified when I go live. Also, if you look at right here below, there you go, right there, you can see all my channels. Please make sure you follow me on all of those. On YouTube, you can watch all of these episodes on demand. Here, obviously, you can watch them live. Also, I'm on Twitter, LinkedIn, so please make sure to follow me there. And if you have any questions, send me an email, marcelo@headlesscreator.com. I always love to get emails and answer emails and give you whatever answer it requires. So, anyway, here we are in the standard template that I have for content modeling, and watch all the previous episodes to understand all my standards here. But today we're going to look at 3 different ways of modeling SEO metadata. And you can see here, I'm going to show you, I'm going to go ahead and zoom in here. And here we're talking about modeling the ability to model or to create entries for SEO. So, for example, title, description, keywords really are not used anymore, but like Bing uses geo.position, geo.place name, so on and so forth. For Twitter, we also have a variety of metadata, and the same thing for Facebook, right? You have the open graph metadata. So today we're going to be looking at how do we model this in a structured way that can scale and that can be attached to any page on your website in a content model. So what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and move over here. There we go. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the assumption that we have pages. I mean, we've got to have pages. In pages, well, if you've been following me, you know that I have a standard notation for fields. I have an internal name and external name. The internal name is for the authors to be able to search for what they want. So if you have let's say a customer page, you can call it internal name all of our customers, and the external name would be customers, and that's what you display. But your authors can search by the internal name. So it's important to be able to do that. That's my standard. Doesn't matter. You can look at all the other episodes for more explanation on that. Okay. So we have pages. We're assuming we have pages. So now let's analyze for a minute SEO. So if you look at SEO data or metadata here, any metadata, and just SEO, but Twitter, it seems pretty standard that you have a name and then you have what they call content, but really it's value, right? So there's some sort of name and a value associated with it. So what we want to do is we want to model that. And it seems like a very easy thing. And I'm showing you under tasks, we're going to create 3 models. The first one is going to be a free-form name value pair, that a very simple content model that allows you to enter whatever name you want and whatever value you want associated with it. Then we're going to kind of restrict it a bit more, so we can put content governance around that and create a content model that only allows them to pick certain um, names, right? That it's not open free-form. They can only pick certain ones. And then we're going to be able to group all those, so that way you know if they're Facebook, Twitter, or SEO, right? So let's start with the free form. That's going to be a pretty simple one. We're going to create a content type, and we're going to call it metadata. And it has like I said, I always like to use internal names. So that's for the authors to be able to name it whatever they want. But then it has a name and a value, right? So we do my standard, which is all purple for fields. You're going to create a name and a value. And the name is going to be, for example, description and whatever the value for that is. And now here, what we would want to do is we'd probably do something like metadata. to reference field. It's going to be 0 to many because maybe the page doesn't require it. And it's going to be the metadata.